All right, 880. It's been patiently waiting because we got sidetracked with our baling and other things which are under the tarp. But I got this brand new tire, so we need to get to work on that in a minute. I will show you what's under the tarp though. I don't know if I talked about this or not. On an auction, I managed to win for the nominal fee of $23.50 another wooden box that fits a 26 grain drill. And the reason I wanted that is because I've got a low wheel 26 where I put it in the shed, and sadly enough I didn't notice in time that the roof was dripping, and it dripped like right here and it rotted that all out sitting in the shed. You know, you put stuff in the shed and you think it's fine, and I never gave it a thought to make sure. So I think I fixed my mistake fairly cheaply. Hopefully that will go right on and we can make that happen at some point. But anyway, yeah, task at hand is going to be this sad sack. We need to get this tractor where it will be usable and runnable and everything's grand. And then after we do that, we need to get to work on that mower, because it's definitely past time of mowing pasture and things. So sure. So we're gonna get started on that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man 880. And so far it has been doing absolutely nothing for us other than growing up in the weeds. And so in previous episodes we tackled charging system. We swapped carburetor so that it might run better. And I'm probably going to clean up this all too, and yeah, a little at a time. I kind of pick my battles and go. But right now, the task at hand is going to be this rim. I straightened it somewhat goodly the other day. However, I did not have enough meat in my tool of choice, which is a pipe wrench. Sometimes you can roll that. So I'm gonna get that ginormous pipe wrench I got and see if I can't clamp it here and wrench it around while it's still on the tractor and get that bent a little bit better before we take it off, and we'll clean it up and paint it. And then hopefully we'll have us something, because it looks to me like it got drove at different times in its life on a flat tire, or maybe it, who knows. But it looks like it's got a flat spot in it. And I think I can still save it, but it's just a matter of bending. So let me grab that huge pipe wrench and we'll get started. A rigid 48 inch. I remember when Grandpa, well, I don't remember when he did that, but I remember him telling me when he bought this thing, he thought, I'll never use that. He only bought it because his brother-in-law had a plumbing business and he was going bankrupt and he needed to sell some stuff and try to raise some cash. So Grandpa bought a bunch of his tools, things that he thought he might need, like circular saw and some of the pipe cutting stuff and whatever. And then this thing, which he thought, will I ever use that? No. But we've used it all the time on discs and just everything imaginable. Today it's going to be a rim straightener. And it's got such huge jaws that it needs to be almost all the way together for me to do what I got in my brain. Well, it may not work. It might be too big. Well, part of my trouble is the other tire is hitting it. I might have got it pretty good. Right there's a spot that we could see if we can't roll that out. But it's not gonna let me do it. Gonna roll one side out and flatten the other side. See, this needs to come up. And I think I can do it if I just get the right combination of tool. So maybe I need to hunt me up a cheater pipe for a smaller pipe wrench that I can clamp on there and then do what I have to do. And then I can hammer like this straight again. And that needs to probably come in slightly. But yeah, this part here is way smashed. So I'm gonna go hunt up some better stuff and then I'll bring it back. I tell you, my life is a constant struggle of putting one thing down and losing it, and then finding something else, and then losing the other thing you had to start with. I just can't seem to ever get it all together at the same time. Now this I think would work, except for the simple fact that now I'm going to hit the tire. But I think that's going to get it. If I just use my wits about me in several places here. This is, yeah, where do you stop, you know? It's not going to be perfect. That's a lot better than it was, though. I mean, these are available new, so if they're really bad enough, I'd probably recommend just buying a different one. But you can kind of straighten them a little bit if you take your time and go around and around and around. Now I need to get my hammer and knock these outer lips the right direction. Sometimes they need to be knocked in, some of them need to be knocked out after bending, and I think I'm going to call that good where it is. Now before we just talk about that, I should point out that all good tire problems happen in threes. We have the 880, we have my lawnmower, which self-destructed a front tire for absolutely no reason the other day. And then the other night, I decided, why not ruin this tire, you know? I backed over something and it ripped a hole in the sidewall like a zipper. So that's dandy. So I'm gonna be getting me a new tire to replace this pretty well new tire. It's a wonderful time to be alive, friends. I just thought I would point that out, you know, so you understand the sadness. Now, if all is right with the world, we'll be able to go around and just slightly tweak stuff wherever it needs tweaking. The back one is probably pretty good. Pretty good. That's probably a little bit flat still, but I don't know if I can bring it up or not. That's pretty good. Probably gonna have to live with that, because you reach a certain point where you're just going back and forth and you're not accomplishing anything. So our next affair is going to be wire wheeling this / angle grinding this, which I usually like to do on the tractor. However, the tractor is very far from any sort of power source. What I could do is back my trailer up and unhook it and then move the tractor forward. That's probably what I'll do. I need to unhook the trailer anyway because it's got a flat tire now, and I need my pickup after a while. So I will do that thing, and then we will get this cleaned up and started to paint it, and then that way it should be ready to go. Another thing we need to do, we need to mow. We need to fix that tire on our mower. I need to get some gas, and we need to mow because it's getting out of hand again. Oh, fires right up and then dies. Now, you're, oh, I am a dum-dum, friends. I know that's a shocker, but if you don't turn on your gas, they don't run very good. There. What are the chances we can get it up on that board? One more time. Oh yeah. Whoa there. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I'll get the grinder and run the cord out here, and then we will clean up as best we can, take it off of there, clean up the backside, and then probably lay it on the old tire and paint it, you know. I can paint the gloss black, the brush in the center, or in the, you know what I'm saying, and then I can start painting the white one side, and then later on today flip it over to the other side. By tonight it ought to be ready to put her on there. Interestingly enough, that other side was flat when we started, but it has held air this whole entire time, so it must not be a bad leak at all. I thought it was, but must be a yearly leak. All right, let's see if we can destroy something, make a mess. I know we can do both of those things. It's always a good day if we can do both at the same time. Hopefully we don't have to switch to the angle grinder. It's going to take a little bit to get all the surfaces. Now it would probably be easier to take it off to do the sides. All right. I was getting kind of worried a while ago that productivity was not happening and I wasn't getting anything done today, but eventually I got all that done. So that motor's totally cleaned up now, except for the very front side, but we'll get that sometime. Got my rim totally painted, the inside and both sides. Turns out it was easy to just go ahead and flip it over and go. So whenever that's dry, we can put the tire back on. So the project is coming along, and that's what I like, because it's frustrating when it seems like you're working all day but nothing's happening. So eventually this whole thing will be more meadow greenified, because I just can't handle them when they're all gooped up with, you know, 2 or 3 old paint jobs and not the right color even. So even though it's not professional sometimes, I feel it's still better than the way that it was. So eventually we will plug on with that and get the rest of the tractor cleaned up nice. But for now, if we can just get it where it runs and drives, starts every time, charges the battery, and runs good, that's what we're after here. So we'll beautify it a little as we go and make it more better when we take stuff apart. So once we get that done, then we should be able to, it should be usable, and then we can start with our mower of sadness back there. But anyway, I'll bring you back here whenever this is dry and we can start putting it back together. Consequently, quick note, this is the first time I've used the Tallman's Ag Specialty Clover White, and it seems pretty decent-ish. I'm still not convinced that that's 100% the right color that Clover White really was, because I've got some original stuff. I could dig some out and compare, but it's a little closer than the Agco, but like I said, I'm not convinced that it's totally perfect, but it does look good. It's better than just plain gloss white. When people do that, that kind of breaks my brain. I mean, that obviously was gloss white. That didn't hold up very good, but it's just, gloss white is too white. The Clover White is a slight tinge of green in it, and as you move around you can kind of see that. Probably not on the GoPro. The GoPro distorts colors, but it looks to me like it's a little closer than, yeah. So we will see how that looks when we're all done and it's on the tractor. All right, seeing as how I am very impatient, we're gonna roll with this. I think it's dry enough to put it on. Also, I noticed that I have robbed the battery for the impact. What did I do with that? Okay, we might actually have it back on all its tires by the end of today. That is impressive. That's impressive, not oppressive. All right. Look at how pretty that is. Be the last thing I remember when it falls on my foot here in a second. Yep. There we go. That color looks pretty good. That's the first time I've used it. I've used, well, that's the brand I've used for the Minneapolis Moline Combine, and it wasn't quite right, but then I learned that there must be multiple shades of the gold, like 3 different ones, and I'm thinking that Combine was the later one for whatever reason. Maybe that's just faded. Anyway, battery's about dead. Sure. Shutting off. That's okay though, because that's like safety torque. You know, that impact can bust off stuff like this. So, all right, we need to acquire my little tire valve stem holdy anything, and the tire tools, which are right over here, and the tire. We would need that. So, yeah. Look at that beauty. 650/16. That's the same size we always ran on the 1650. But it is the replacement for an 880, or rather a 1600 would be. So just get on there. Come on, let me manhandle you on. Come on. You can do this, friend. You don't have to. What? Impossible. You can just do what you're supposed to do as we go around and around. You'll do it. It'll be fine. Come on. Oh, all right. Good. Now, tube, a good Firestone natural rubber tube. We got to get a rim hole bushing because this one ain't got the big valve stem, and that's the size hole we got. So I better go get one of those. Well, that's kind of a sad story, friends. I'm on my last one, so we can't lose that one. I ordered some more just now, so that's the handy part about having a phone, you know. A lot of the stores have an app, and you can just log in and instantly order parts, of which I order many parts. I really need to remember to use that little cable thing that the viewer sent me on these narrow tires. That would be the bee's knees, as they say. But alas, I am lazy, and I do not do that thing. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, and you can't teach a dumb dog much of anything, really. There we go. We actually need to start this side, and as previously stated, you might say, what's it matter? Well, you need sliding room at first, and the valve stem will be much in your way. So what you're going to want to do then is totally lose your other tire tube so that you can't even see what you're doing. Get in there, you. That holds that there. Mm-hmm. Come on, baby doll. Come on, baby doll. Our top needs to jump down in there, which it is not doing. There we go. This time we got her. We got her like now. Come on. Get in there. Get in there, you. Oh, come on, you. Get in there. Yep. Get in there. Get in there. And one more. Oh, come on. There. You just gotta manhandle your stuff a little bit and it'll go. Now, we should probably air it up, you know. I got my rickety one of these, which I need to buy a better one because this is the only one that seems to work. But we get the air hose over here and pump her up, and I think we'll have this project licked. All right. Now, I don't know if the air compressor is still plugged in or not, but we'll find out. It's got air in it still for a little bit. Once again, you're going to want to go in dry. There's no reason to use soap. It'll go, especially when you just painted it. The paint is a lubricant. See how nice it goes on there without any extra mess and slop? All right, now let's relieve it of its air and then air it up for keeps. If we do it right, we'll lose the valve stem inside there and have to start all over, you know. I know how you really enjoy watching me do tires again and again and again, but such is life. This is a new brand of tire I've never had before. What's it called? A seat? C-E-A-T? Or C-E, no. C, 3 lines, upside down V, and a T. Spells Chinesium to me. We'll have to look and see what country it's made in. It might be exotic. It might be like, oh, it's Indian. It's an Indian tire. I bet I unplugged that air compressor. It probably would have kicked on by now. Doesn't seem to be hurting it none. It's almost there. Look at that. If that is to be believed, it's right there. Yep, we'll go with that. Some air is better than no air. Well, ain't that a snazzy lady now? So that's pretty cool. Almost makes me want to dismount the other side now and continue with the process. Might have to do that, but that may be for another day. Yeah, we still got to put all that back together, but I'll do that off camera. You don't need to sit and watch that. That's familiar stuff you've seen me do before. So at any rate, the 880 is coming along much more better than it was. And you know, maybe one day we'll get to see this actually accomplish a farm task. But for now, I'm happy. Step back and take it all in. Yeah, the sun is not cooperating, but otherwise, that's kind of pretty, you know. The old 880 living its best life. So I guess we'll leave this one here. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.